All right, YouTube, it's me, David Harry, your favorite YouTuber and vlogger. Right, what I'm going to do in this video is a preliminary test. So there's a couple of things that I'm doing here which I think are very exciting. Whether you'll think it's exciting, I don't know. So what it is, I'm using the RODE Lavalier GO with the Flip 4 for this, right? So what I'm going to do is just kind of walk around and get myself some dialogue and stuff. And also I've done something with the camera here as well, and hopefully it's going to help me with some stuff. Now, let me just start at the beginning right now. So, as I always keep saying to people, don't be fooling around with like manual settings and stuff when you're vlogging, because you go in and out of too many different like lighting conditions as you're just walking, even in a straight line. Like I am right now, I've just gone in and out of like tree cover about 3 different times there. Now, the reason why you don't do manual is because you will be stopping literally every few seconds to reset your exposure. Now, I did try that just to start off this vlog. I thought, you know what, I'll try doing something manual, and I know I'm going to have to keep changing, but I had to change too many times. In fact, right now, if one of the takes did look good, I'll just flash it over the top now. So if there is something there now, that was something that I attempted. Now, the thing is, you can get a better exposure if you're doing it manually. But here's the other problem. If you're using a phone where the better cameras are on the back, and like this is now, I'm talking to the back of the camera, I can't see myself. Now, I don't need to see myself to vlog, but I would most certainly need to see myself to set the exposure properly. So there's a whole heap of other problems that come into it with a smartphone when you go for the manual exposure for the vlogging thing. Now, just give me 1 second. Okay, so I've just had to check something there. Now, at least with this phone, with the bog standard Samsung camera app, it would also appear that if you do certain manual settings, if you then like go and preview the recording that you've just done, and then you go back to the camera, apparently you have to reset the same settings that you'd had before, like you went and previewed the previous take. So it looks like it doesn't stay on the settings that you've set it to and stuff. And the reason why I'm saying that, despite the fact that I'm not doing fully manual, what it is, there are certain things that are slightly manual here. So what I've done, and I'm hoping that they were actually set on the previous take as well, actually, and that they hadn't been reset from the previous take before that, which I hadn't done for this video. So basically what I've done, I've dropped down the white balance and locked it. So as far as I'm concerned, a lot of the stuff like skin tones and stuff are going to start going far too vibrant. Certain other colours like green in the grass and stuff starts going crazy and stuff like that. So what I've done is brought down the white balance just only a little bit below where it said it wanted to be. I think it was saying it wanted to be somewhere like 5,200 or 5,400 Kelvin. So I brought it down to about 4,800, 4,900, something like that. Also, I've applied minus 0.5 on the EV as well. So hopefully that's going to take the edge a little bit off some of those like slight, like blown out elements, which I'll get. I mean, I might be getting them on my grey t-shirt here, because what happens, this has obviously got elements of white in it somewhere, and they will reflect differently and expose slightly differently. So basically, 2 elements that have changed to do something like slightly manual. Now, if these were to keep sticking and not kind of get lost when you go and preview the take and then go back to the camera app, then I don't think it would be such a bad thing to do. It's not like, you know, going fully manual and having to stop and start every 30 seconds for your full exposure, but just altering the white balance to try and tone down the colours a bit. And yeah, just put a bit of EV in there just to take a little bit more out on the overall exposure as well. So those things, I think they're livable with as far as a little bit of setting up is concerned, especially if it does give you that slight edge with the colors and stuff. Now give me 1 second, I'm just going to try and find somewhere dark to go into. Okay, so just a quick test there, somewhere which is like darker than where I've been so far. I just want to see for myself what these settings are going to be like, because I have kind of put a bit of EV on it and stuff like that, and also because of the white balance, I just want to see if these will mess up when the camera's definitely got to do crazy gaining up and stuff like that. Anyway, this will be enough for this little bit. It's just a little extra thing for me to test out whilst I'm walking around doing this stuff. Okay, so back to the point of the video then, which is the audio thing. What it is, even though this is a preliminary test about a specific kind of audio setup and stuff, wherever possible, I will always be testing other things when I do my prelim tests, and especially when it's something new as well, and I've got to kind of find out a lot more about it, because there's only one way you get to find out how these things respond, and that's by using them. So like I say, I'll always dip in and out of different things as I'm doing a prelim. I was trying to get it into my head that I could do these very focused preliminary tests where it's just one thing. That never works out though. Anyway, so to the microphone side of stuff then. So I'm on the RODE Lavalier GO. It is concealed here, so it's just kind of taped to my solar plexus. I'm using the Rycote undercovers, which are these little sticky pads with little felt linings across the top of them. So you basically sandwich your lavalier and then stick it down on yourself and stuff, or wherever, on skin. Anyway, yeah, actually there'll be links to these things in the description below as ever, so yeah, go and have a look at that stuff, and there might be links to videos I've done about these Rycote sticky things as well. Anyways, because this phone obviously doesn't have a 3.5mm mic input, I have to use Samsung's USB-C to headphone cable. Now, of course, although that says USB-C to headphone cable, it is indeed TRRS, which means obviously it's got a mono line in as well, or mono mic in. So what I do there then, because that is TRRS and the microphone is TRS, I have to use a TRRS splitter cable to go mic and headphone. So 2 separate cables here, unfortunately, to get this to work. I'm actually going to do a video soon where I'm just going to splice the cable. So I'm just going to go straight for 3.5mm TRS straight to the line, the line on the actual USB-C end of it. So it's just one cable. I'll do that and I'll show people how to build one of them, because it's a little bit more convenient than using 2 cables strapped together like this. Anyway, so that's how I get the mic in. Now, here's another thing which I think is very important here, and hopefully it was okay on the first take and it didn't forget itself because I'd previewed something again. There is another manual setting which I personally will definitely start using. What it is, I've already done a few videos now with this phone and a couple of different mics coming in over USB and stuff. Now, usually when something comes in over USB, it's coming in digitally usually at that point. Well, when it's something that's got like, like an A to D built into it, such as a lot of USB devices do. Hello, dog. Hello. So basically what happens is when you have a lot of these, hello. When you have a lot of these interfaces which are USB, they are basically class compliant audio devices, which means, hello, you okay? Which means they will have built-in A to Ds and D to As and such and all that stuff anyway. So when something like that is connected to a USB device like a phone, it will go in digitally at this point. Now, normally when that happens, phones tend not to add like AGC and any kind of gain structure with things like that when it's coming in digitally. However, the app for the phone does that. It seems to apply like another gain again on top of it. So what it is, you can actually go into the pro settings, which is where you would go in to alter things like, exposure and stuff. You can alter that so that you can bring the mic level down. Now, I don't know if that truly is a proper reduction thing, as in it communicates to the source to tell the preamp and the source what to do, or whether or not it's just some digital thing that happens in the phone. I don't know at this point yet, because I've only observed it like visually. I've not actually tested it audibly. This is what this tests for. So I've set it to -12, and it definitely is lower, but like I say, I don't know whether that's some kind of like post digital summing thing that lowers it, or whether it is directly communicating to the initial input. However, in this instance, the thing that I'm using, which is one of those little adapters, I don't know if that does the A to D or whether that passes through to the phone. Something again I need to work out with this particular interface. Anyways, and nonetheless, what it means is I'm hopefully getting the best input that I possibly can here for this particular setup with the lav and stuff like that, and hopefully it is sounding great and it's not overcooking and stuff. Now on that point, I will have added my own like limiting in post just to get it louder for YouTube, because this definitely is lower than what it would have been if I hadn't have done this setting. So on that point, what I'm going to do now is, this is the level exactly as it has gone in. Now, I don't know how much I've had to raise it in post by. This still might have been a really healthy level, which didn't need much doing to it in post. I don't know yet. But nonetheless, this is what it originally went in at. And right now, this is my resummed level, which there will be some resumming to some degree. Once again, I don't know how much at this point. Anyways, I think that'll probably do it for this video, because I've also brought out with me, if I can find them here, hold on, transmitter and receiver for the wireless Go. So I'm going to test the wireless Go natively. Oh, actually not natively, because I've got no way to clip it onto. Right, what I'm going to do is test the Lav Go with the wireless Go. So that'll be a separate video that I'll probably put up around the same time as this. Anywho, hopefully, people have found this one interesting. If there's anything out there that people might be interested in as well to do with all this stuff that I'm doing with the prelims and whatnot for this phone and what have you, let us know and I'll try and get around to doing some stuff about it and whatnot. Anyways, I'm going to dive off now because I need to set all this up and see if this all works. I'm David Harry. Thank you very much for watching this video. Take care and goodbye now.